Abdurrah Shamat, back here on the highways and byways with another lesson here in Babylon the Great. Before I get started, I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakakodash, and double honors to the elders and apostles at Great Millstone for bringing out this truth. Shalom. So, here we are, another week in Babylon the Great. Still got a lot of things happening. You got the effects of the terrorists from DJ Trump finally about to hit now. And you see a lot of Americans, really getting scared right now because those things, they're heavily going to take a toll on the people. Okay, and then he's also bringing in that the student loan thing when a lot of people have, defaulted on their loans because of course they can't pay right now. But he doesn't care because, he's not a man for the people. All right? But most Americans didn't understand that when they was electing this man. All right? But as Israelites, we know that we're not supposed to even be taking part in that because we're not supposed to elect someone from another nation over us. Okay? Other things going on in the world, of course. They got fires brewing over there in the Holy Land with them Amalekites. So Yahweh Bashem Yahushai giving them hell over there. Let's see, what else? Oh, they had that lady, what's her name, Shiloh something, calling some little kid the N-word. And somehow she has amassed over $500,000. And so that's just showing you the hatred that these Edomites have for Jake, okay? And they try to say, oh, this has to do with that, what was it? The Carmelo Anthony situation with those two kids that Jake and that Edomite that got into it. And Jake ended up putting down that Edomite. And, they want, would they deem their justice for their side? So they think supporting a racist lady, is the way. But it's really just showing, who these Edomites truly are. Okay, they can't hide themselves from, who they truly are. They have a perpetual hatred towards the Israelites. All right? And, that's starting to show. And basically, we're building up towards Isaiah chapter 19, right? But that's not the lesson for today. But, it's going to be people against people, Egyptian against Egyptian, and that's what's coming, okay? Especially, when things get tough, all right? When you don't have power, when you don't have the food and water and stuff that you want, all right? That's gonna cause strife and uprisings amongst people, okay? So today's lesson is going to be Isaiah chapter 47, okay? So we'll start with Isaiah 47 and 1, all right? Just because we're watching Babylon start to crumble, okay? So this is prophecies that we're going to see come to pass, in our lifetime. So this is Isaiah 47 and 1, and it says, "Come down and sit in the dust, O virgin daughter of Babylon. Sit on the ground, there is no throne, O daughter of the Chaldeans. For thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate." So come down, sit in the dust. Now, dust represents confusion, all right? And so it's talking about Babylon the Great, okay? Here, America, not that old Babylon with like Nebuchadnezzar and with like Daniel in the lion's den. No, that's talking about modern day, okay? This is a future prophecy for now, because it says, "O virgin daughter of Babylon." And that virgin daughter is that untouched daughter, okay, of Babylon. Okay, and why is it a daughter of Babylon? Because, okay, the Edomites, they didn't like make their own cultures and stuff like that. They just stole stuff from everybody else. Okay, and so they have some of the things from Babylon, like the way they use like the Chaldeans, which are like magicians and stuff like that, which you'll see later on at the end of this chapter. Okay, it says, "Sit on the ground. There is no throne," okay? Because right now, these Edomites, okay, they're at the top, all right? So the Most High, he ruleth in the kingdom of men, and he set it up, whoever he will, even the bases of men, and he set these Edomites up. They're at the top, okay? They even think they sit in the throne of the Most High, all right? That's the pride that they have, all right? But he's taking them down slowly but surely, all right? There is no more wisdom in teaming, but they don't see it, okay? Well, they're starting to see it, but anyway. "O daughter of the Chaldeans, okay, for thou shalt no more be called tender and delicate." Okay, so a beautiful untouched virgin, you think of them as like a tender and delicate woman. Okay, but they're about to be penetrated by all these missiles, okay, that's coming from their own allies and from their enemies, okay, and let alone the chariots of Yahweh Bashim Yahushai, all right, that's coming alongside it, all right. So let's go to Psalms 137. This is Psalms 137, verse 7. It says, remember, O Yahweh, the children of Edom in the day of Jerusalem, who said, raise it, even to the foundation thereof. Let me read that again. Remember, O Yahweh, the children of Edom in the day of Jerusalem, who said, raise it, even to the foundation thereof. Okay? And so he's talking about when the Babylonians back in the day came and took down, Jerusalem. Back then, the Edomites were there. Okay, they stood in the way. All right, they stood in the way. All right, and they were saying, raise it. Okay, and that's basically tearing down the city. Okay, all of it, even to the foundation thereof. That's what they wanted. All right, they were catching Jake, not letting Jake escape, turning Jake over. Okay, that's not something your brother is supposed to do. All right. Verse 8, O daughter of Babylon, who art to be destroyed, happy shall he be that rewarded thee, as thou hast served us. Okay, so here the scripture is tying Esau, Edom, to be the daughter of Babylon, as you see in Isaiah 47 in verse 1. Okay, and so that's not talking about somebody else. That's talking about these Edomites. And in Babylon, when Nebuchadnezzar was ruling, he wasn't an Edomite, was he? No, he wasn't. Okay, he was actually like an Assyrian. All right, so it says, O daughter of Babylon, who art to be destroyed, happy shall he be that rewarded thee as thou hast served us. Happy shall he be that taketh and dasheth thy little ones against the stones. Okay, because that's that get back from Jacob. Okay, so Esau got to drink of that cup. The same thing that he did to Jacob is going to get done to him, and he got to drink that cup double. So it could be worse on Esau. But he didn't consider his letter in, which is something we'll cover also in this lesson. So let's go back to Isaiah chapter 47. Looks like it's going to rain. It says, take the millstones and grind meal, uncover the locks, make bare the leg, uncover the thigh, and pass over the rivers. So this is basically going into Esau being exposed the thigh. Okay? All right? We'll get the precept. We're going to make Esau bare. All right? So he's being exposed mostly through the prophets. The prophets of Yahweh Shem Yahushua have identified this man and pointed the finger at him and said, no, you are that criminal. You're that thief. You're that vagabond. Okay, that's been running and terrorizing the earth all of this time. Okay, your judgment ain't come yet, but it's coming. All right, they done pointed him out, didn't expose who he is, expose his wickedness. All right, his own people, the world, they're also seeing who he is. Okay, his own people are ashamed. That's why they're trying to hide it. All right, let's see. Let's go to Jeremiah 49 and verse 10. And it says, but I have made Esau bare. Okay, so he exposed his nakedness, all his secrets. I have uncovered his secret places, and he shall not be able to hide himself. His seed is spoiled, and his brethren and his neighbors, and he is not. Okay, so this man has hid himself in history with his name. Okay, he done stole other people's identity, stole other people's names. He done changed the names. He done changed the ancient landmarks. He done changed the ancient names. Everything. All of this just to hide himself for who he is. Okay? And then they even got some Jakes who don't want him to be Esau because they're complicit with him, but they don't understand that. All right? This man is Esau. That's why Job 9 and 24 says what it says. But we should get that. Let me get it. Job 9 verse 24 says the earth is given into the hand of the wicked. So who's ruling the earth? The Edomites, the so-called pale man from the Caucasus Mountains. Now remember, this is not a color thing. I got to qualify that, okay? Because, all right, our seeds have mixed with a whole bunch of different nations, okay? You got Israelites who look like Ammonites, Moabites, and Edomites. You got Edomites who look like, Israelites, Moabites, Ammonites, Ishmaelites, all of that stuff too, okay? So it's through the Spirit. All right, but we know who is in rulership in this world is the wicked. And Malachi 1 and 4 frankly identifies who the wicked is, okay? And predominantly Esau Edom is that pale man from the Caucasus Mountains, the abominable snowman, the Hebrew Edomite. And he read, okay, according to Genesis chapter 25, all right? You can see his blood through his skin. So he can't hide himself. He covered the faces of the judges thereof, if not in where, who is he? So who painted the people in the Bible to be pale? Lepers, clean lepers. Esau Edom, because he wanted them to look like them, because he thinks that he is the Most High. He thinks that he's the Most High Son. He's saying that he's the Most High's people. Okay, you can see clearly over there with them gutter rats, them devils over there in the Holy Land, them Amalekites. Now, let's go to Amos chapter 3 and verse 7. And it says, surely Yahweh will do nothing, but he revealeth his secrets unto his servants the prophets. So that's how the prophets can, point out who this man is and tell the whole world, okay? Because they got to know, because the Most High revealed the secrets unto them, okay? He didn't reveal it to everybody else. This man was able to go by, committing all of these atrocities all around the world, untouched, unscathed. But now he's being exposed, okay? Now let's go to Isaiah 47 again. I don't know why I keep saying 45. Maybe I need to do a lesson on Isaiah 45. This is Isaiah 47 in verse 3. Thy nakedness shall be uncovered. I got that one already. No. Yeah, I did. No, verse 2. Verse 3. Thy nakedness shall be uncovered. Yea, thy shame shall be seen. I will take vengeance, and I will not meet thee as a man. So all of these things that you are trying to hide, okay? You're trying to cover up who you are, that history that you're ashamed of, being in the caves, okay? Like Job wrote about. I think it's Job chapter 20 that he wrote about them. Like Job was like, man, I wouldn't even allow these people to be around my dogs, man. You see what they do with dogs. They nasty, all right? But, they was up in the caves, grunting, living like cavemen, being, so-called Neanderthals. That's who they are, okay? They're the basis of men. They're the lowest classification of men that was created on this planet, and they're in rulership. And look at what they're doing, destroying the earth, okay? So all of that's being exposed about it. It's out there, all right? They can't hide it anymore. Thy shame shall be seen, okay? I will take vengeance, and I will not meet thee as a man. So how is the Most High going to take vengeance? Through his son, Yahweh Shai. That's how he's going to take vengeance. And Yahweh Shai ain't coming back as a man. He's coming back as a God, as a power, okay? That's how he's coming, all right? Then it's going to be glorious. So when we jump forward to Isaiah 63, and 1, it says, who is it that cometh from Edom with dyed garments from Basra? That's Yahweh Shai, okay? And them dyed garments, that's, his raiment is stained with blood from all the people that he done slain, all right? That is glorious in his apparel, traveling in the greatness of his strength, all right? He coming, him with the chariots. Oh, it's going to be beautiful to see. I that speak in righteousness, mighty to save. That's how you know it's Yahweh Shai, because Yahweh Shai means he saves or he delivers. All right, he's coming to save his people, but he's also coming to put down these heathens, especially Esau Edom. Okay, wherefore art thou red in thine apparel and thy garments like him that treadeth in the wine fat? Okay, because he's pressing on the wine press. Okay, he's trampling on it. All right, and he's squashing these heathens out, especially Esau Edom. And some of our people gonna get caught up into it too. Well, most of our people, these 2/3. All right, they don't want to listen. They don't want to hear the words of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai. They want to lean onto their own understanding. They want to follow and trust in Egypt. Okay, some of them actually believe DJ Trump go save them. That's crazy. But they see what's happening now. Okay, I have trodden the winepress alone, and of the people there was none with me. For I will tread them in my anger and trample them in my fury. And their blood shall be sprinkled upon my garments, and I will stain all my raiment. All right? So he's like, yeah, it's just me. I did this, okay? Of course, he's coming with the angels and stuff, but it ain't like we was up there, doing it. No, he came and saved us alone. He delivered us from those enemies, okay? Verse 4. For the day of vengeance is in my heart, and the year of my redeemed is come. All right? So he got it in his mind. Whenever I read this scripture, I always think about Yahweh Shai, always, sitting next to the Heavenly Father in his throne, just rocking and just ready, like, man, when is it time? Like, thinking about it. Probably not how he is. He probably just all cool and collected, like, man, just let me know, Father, when is it my time to go down there and handle these fools? Like, I don't know, but I just think about that. Like, I know he's just ready, like, it's on his mind, all right? Because the scriptures tell you, all right? So he's ready to come back for his people. And I looked, and there was none to help, and I wondered that there was none to uphold. Therefore, my own arm brought salvation unto me, and my fury it upheld me. Okay? So, ain't nobody else. Okay? None of us Israelites that, helping Yahweh Shai with this. All right? That's him. Okay? He leading the forces. He's the commander-in-chief. All right? He is the captain of the Lord's host. So if you read in the book of Joshua, when Joshua met the captain of Yahweh's host, okay, that was Yahweh Shai, because he bowed down and he worshipped him. That's how you know that wasn't a regular angel. Because in the book of Hebrews, you see that the Heavenly Father lets us know that Yahweh Shai is worthy to be worshipped, and the angels worship him too. Verse 6, and I will tread down the people in my anger and make them drunk in my fury, and I will bring down their strength to the earth. That's what he's coming back to do, all right? It ain't going to be no good day, man. It's going to be a dark day. And who can abide in it when Yahweh Shai comes back, all right? Now let's go to 1 John to establish that he will not meet these people as a man, okay? This is 1 John chapter 3 and verse 2. Beloved, now are we the sons of power, and it doth not yet appear what we shall be. But we know that when he shall appear, we shall be like him, for we shall see him as he is. There's a lot of stuff going on when Yahweh Shai come back, all right? So he's changed, okay? His body is different, okay? So that glorified body, is the way to describe it. We don't know what that is. We just know it's not like this, and it's not like the angels. It's something different that we don't know, all right? And we know that when he comes back and gets his people, that we're going to be like him, all right? In a twinkle of an eye, all right? We're going to be transformed. We're going to be caught up, okay? Beamed up into the chariots. And that's what we're waiting for that deliverance. Because this place, oh, man, this place is horrible. I hate it here. You don't have no comfort anywhere. Not in your women, not in nothing. Like, this is not your rest, all right? Everything is against you. You're truly on the bottom in this society. And you literally can't even be a man here. You basically just end up being a bitch to fit into this society. This is just a crazy world that we live in. That's just the struggles that I know a lot of Jake go through. It's not just me. So I'm ready for it to come back. I don't want this world to go on. I don't get no enjoyment out of it. I mean, you get your little, moments and stuff like that, but it never really lasts. Like, this can't be life. Like, what's the point of all of this? Just for headaches? Just to live in Esau's world and have the wicked ruling over you with his bitch-ass woman Eve next to him? Fuck no. I can't. It's too much. Let's go back to Isaiah 47 in verse 4, and it says, as for our Redeemer, Yahweh of hosts is his name, the Holy One of Israel. Okay, so our Redeemer, that Redeemer who's going to come out of Zion, that's Yahweh Shai, okay? I should have said Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai of hosts, all right, because he's working through his son, all right? That's who's coming back to get us. So if we go to Isaiah 59, Isaiah 59 and 20, and it says, and the Redeemer shall come to Zion, and unto them that turn from transgression in Jacob, said Yahweh. Okay? And so, who's that Redeemer coming to? Zion, which is, short for Jerusalem. So it's dealing with the Israelites. It's not dealing with everybody else. And so that Redeemer that's coming, Yahweh Shai, okay, he's only coming for his people, not everybody else, okay? Every day you see something about some new person that I've never seen before talking about, oh, he's coming back for everybody. They don't even know his name. How the hell he coming back for you? Shut up. Goodness. Too many people just be talking and running their mouths and don't know what they're talking about, all right? The scriptures are so deep, all right? And this, the understanding of it was given to the prophets, okay? And only the election go get it. Everybody else, they just need to shut up. It's too much confusion going on. But they got to stand in their lot and do what they do too. So it is what it is. Let's go to Isaiah 47 once again. Isaiah 47 and 5, and it says, sit thou silent and get thee into darkness, O daughter of the Chaldeans, for thou shalt no more be called the Lady of Kingdoms. All right? So this is about him being brought down, Esau Edom, okay? He's gonna be brought into darkness, okay? So in his time, okay, to be low, all right? He's brought from that high place. Now let's look at this definition of darkness. I know we went into darkness a lot in Psalms 18. This is somewhat the same word. Yeah, this is the same word. Darkness, obscurity, darkness, secret place. Okay, the dark, hence literally darkness, figuratively, misery, destruction, death, ignorance, sorrow, wickedness, night, obscurity. Okay, so what fits here would be misery, destruction, because that's what's coming for Esau Edom. Okay, so he's getting destroyed, his kingdom getting destroyed, gonna be brought down low, and then he's going straight into captivity for 1,000 years. Then he really gonna get destroyed at the end of that. So misery and destruction is in his future. That's what the scriptures say. So if we go to Isaiah, let's see, chapter 13. Let's go to Isaiah 13, all right? But first, let's read 47 and 5 again. Sit thou silent and get thee into darkness, O daughter of the Chaldeans, okay? So those Chaldeans, they were the magicians. Like, they did all, magical stuff back in the day. And so that's what these elites are doing today, all they witchcraft and stuff, all right? For thou shalt no more be called the Lady of Kingdoms, all right? And that Lady of Kingdoms should make you think about what? Revelation 17. What? Let's go to Isaiah 13 and 19. This is Isaiah 13 and verse 19. It says, in Babylon, the glory of kingdoms and the beauty of the Chaldees, excellency, shall be as when power overthrew Sodom and Gomorrah. It shall never be inhabited, neither shall it be dwelt in from generation to generation. Neither shall the Arabian pitch tent there, and neither shall the shepherds make their fold there. Okay, so this place that was the glory of kingdoms, the lady of kingdoms sitting on top of the beast, whatever, gonna be cast down. All right, this place is gonna be a memorial. Okay, of what not to do. Don't mess with the people of Yahweh Shem Yahushai. All right, don't be proud like Esau Edom. All right, this is going to be a constant memorial to remind the world not to mess up like that. Now let's go to Revelations chapter 17 and verse 1. And there came one of the 7 angels which had the 7 vials and talked with me, saying unto me, come hither, I will shew unto thee the judgment of the great whore which sitteth upon many waters. All right, and that great whore is Babylon the Great, America. Whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication. Okay, and so the inhabitants of the earth, all right, they done bought into her doctrine. That's the wine of her fornication, the things that she teaches, the stuff that she pushes. I would say like that alphabet soup and the feminism and all of that nonsense that's pushed here in America. All right, so he carried me away into the spirit, into the wilderness. In the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet colored beast full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. And that woman is America, okay? And them 7 heads, that's Germania Major, Germania Minor. You got France, Britain, and then you got Rome, you got Greece, and Spain. Forgot Spain. And then the 10 horns, that would be the EU, and NATO, but EU. And a woman was arrayed in purple, in scarlet color, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand, full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication. And upon her forehead was written, Mystery Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. It's not a mystery no more, because we know, but back then when he saw it, John didn't know, but we know now, okay? So we have that understanding, Tawada to the Rakakodash, okay? So John actually saw this vision, like that's what he saw, but this is, what it means, okay? So this woman, that's America, okay? And she is riding upon these European nations that are allies or whatever, and they basically terrorize the world. They push their doctrines and stuff like that out there, okay? And this place is the mother of harlots because it just promotes adultery and all kind of fornications, especially physical fornication and spiritual fornication too, okay? That's what this place, it does, okay? And it's been saturated with the blood of the saints, and the saints are the Israelites, okay? You got the southern and northern kingdom who shed their blood on this land at the hand of Esau, Edom. Let's go down to verse 17. It says, for power hath put in their hearts to fulfill his will and to agree and to give his kingdom unto the beast until the words of power shall be fulfilled. And the woman which thou sawest is that great city which reigneth over the kings of the earth. And that's America, okay? Like, think about it. America is on its downfall, it's losing that power. Because think about it. Think about the pride that DJ Trump had to think, I'm just going to put tariffs on the whole earth and they just going to bend to my will. That's the pride he had, because that was the position that America was in, okay, to be able to do that. Well, let's sanction, tariff, sanction, do this, do that, okay? I'm going to put troops on there. I'm going to station troops, put garrisons in your land. They thought they was King David, okay? No, they don't have it. They can't do that. And so what happened? All right, it backfired on them. That's how you know that this place is slipping, okay? So the world is looking narrowly upon them. They're just like, nah, you ain't who you used to be, Esau. Like, it's on now. We going toe to toe with you. You about to suffer. All right. There's blood is in the water and the sharks is circling. All right. That's what Esau don't see. He don't see that he's weak. These nations see him. Okay. Now he's still blessed with the sword or whatever. He ain't nobody to joke around with. But still. All right. Now let's go to Isaiah 47 again. So Isaiah 47:6, I was wroth with my people. I have polluted my inheritance and given them into thine hand. Thou didst show them no mercy upon the ancient. Thou hast thou very heavily laid thy yoke. So the Most High say he was wroth with his people. So he's the one who gave them over, because ain't nobody could just come up and take his people unless he allowed that to happen. All right, because remember, you're dealing with Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. I have polluted my inheritance, so he allowed us to be defiled, just like that. Okay, because of the evil and the wickedness that we did. It's because of our sins against him. That's how we got put in this place. All right, and given them into thine hand. Thou didst show them no mercy. Okay, and that's what Esau Edom did. Okay, they didn't show us no mercy. Okay? Not even upon the ancient. All right, upon the ancient hast thou very heavily laid thy yoke, and that's in the curses. Okay, so this had to come to pass. All right, this all ties in together. All right, so let's go. Let's get Baruch 4:4 first for our first precept. This is Baruch 4 and verse 4 says, O Israel, happy are we, for the things that are pleasing to power are made known unto us. Be of good cheer, my people, the memorial of Israel. You were sold to the nations, not for your destruction, but because you moved power to wrath. You were delivered unto your enemies. All right? We were delivered by our own power, Yahweh by Shem Yahushua, because we disobeyed him. He told us what was going to happen if we didn't keep his laws, statutes, and commandments. But we hard-headed people, stiff-necked. We didn't listen. And so that's what happened to us. All right? So we're not going to be completely destroyed here, okay? What is that? Malachi, 3 and 6? I am Yahweh, I change not, fear not, ye sons of Jacob. Therefore ye sons of Jacob are not consumed. So the Israelites ain't going to be fully done away with, all right? So we have to get judged, okay? And now we're at the time, we're at the end of this judgment, at the end of this punishment. We're going to be lifted up again, but after Yahweh Shai comes back, because he's going to get his glory first, all right? So let's go to Deuteronomy 28. Since I talked about the curses, Deuteronomy 28 and 49. And it says, Yahweh shall bring against thee from afar, from the end of the earth, as swift as the eagle fly, the nations whose tongue thou shalt not understand. Okay, and that's talking about these freaking Edomites, all right? Because, you know, their symbol is the eagle. The Greeks use it, the Romans use it, the Germans use it. Now you got Babylon the Great, aka America, they're using it, all right? And this was in our language. This is another language. Even back then, the languages was something different from what we knew. But let's see, verse 49. Yahweh shall bring a nation. Oh, I read that. Verse 50. A nation of fierce countenance, which shall not regard the person of the old, nor shew favor to the young. Okay, So they don't regard whether you old or young. All right, the atrocities they used to do to our babies, feeding them the gators. All right, they didn't show any mercy for the young. So they're not considering their latter end. What you think they're gonna have to go through in the kingdom for this? All right, they're not. They did not consider. All right, but they should have. Verse 51, and he shall eat the fruit of thy cattle and the fruit of thy land until thou be destroyed, which also shall not leave thee neither corn, wine, or oil, or the increase of thine kind, or flocks of thy sheep, until he have destroyed thee. And our people are literally in a destroyed state, not destroyed in it as done away with and wiped out, but destroyed as in mentally, okay, in the torture that we went through. Like, come on, our people don't know who they is, most of them. Like, it's bad. All right, we're all out of order. All right, it's bad. Now let's go to Zechariah chapter 1 and verse 15. And it says, I am very sore displeased with the heathen. So that's what the Most High, Yahweh Shem Yahushua, is saying. That are at ease, for I was but a little displeased. And they held forward the affliction. They held forward the affliction of his people. Okay? So the Most High, Yahweh Shem Yahushua, he's not going to be happy with that. All right? So these people, they got a judgment coming to them. But they don't want that judgment, but it's unavoidable. All right? You did the crime, so you got to get the punishment. So we had to drink of that cup, so now they do too. This is Isaiah 47 and 7. And thou saidest, I shall be a lady forever, so that thou didst not lay these things to thy heart, neither didst remember the latter end of it. Okay? And so, that's Esau basically. I'm going to be a lady forever. All right? I'm not going to be punished for the wickedness that I have done. And you can see that just under the lay Edomites, the everyday Edomites. They just like, forget the past. That don't matter. Stuff like that. They just like, oh, that was our ancestors. That wasn't us. Oh, no, that was you. That was definitely you. Yeah, that's that same spirit. That was you. Oh, yeah. You got to get it. All right? They don't like that. Okay? So that thou didst not lay these things to heart. So they just like, whatever, like ain't nothing gonna happen to us. We did all of these evil things to the whole world. Okay, even to, the people Yahweh Shem Yahushua, but we ain't gonna, nothing ain't gonna happen to us. Oh no, Esau, we gotta get it. Neither didst remember the latter end of it. So they're not thinking about what is gonna be my punishment for this. What is gonna be my, what's gonna be the recompense. They're not considering that. Let's go to Psalms 49. Psalms 49. Verse 11, and it says, their inward thought is that their houses shall continue forever, and their dwelling places to all generations. They call their lands after their own names. So these people don't think that they're going to get any punishment, okay? They think that this place, Babylon the Great, all the little places that they done built up, is just going to last on forever, okay? But the Most High told him that he going to tear it down, okay? He told him that this place is going to go up in smoke. All right, but they don't want to accept it. They hear the prophets on the highways and byways, but they walk by like it ain't nothing. But guess what? It's going to come to pass. Now let's go to Psalms 10 and 11. He has said in his heart, power hath forgot. He hideth his face. He will never see it. So that's what Esau Edom thinks. They think that the Most High forgot the atrocity that he's done. Because imagine, you've been a thief and a vagabond since the beginning, and you just been getting away with all kind of atrocities. Okay, if anything, you just get a slap on the wrist. All right? Because he ain't like other men. He don't get punished like other men. All right? All right? Because the Most High, he put that little seal of protection around him. All right? Put that mark on him. All right? Because anybody who harms him, they get judgment 7 times worse. All right? So guess what? That created a pride in this man to think that I'm untouchable. He with me. Yeah, I could do whatever, and he gonna support me. And if I did wickedness, he don't see it. That's all you do is wickedness, Esau. And guess what? He sees it all. Right? And you got to pay for it. You're gonna be punished. You're not getting away. Let's go to Psalm chapter 50. In verse 16, but unto the wicked, power said, what hast thou to do to declare my statutes, or that thou shouldest take my covenant in thy mouth? Okay, so especially with the Amalekites over there in the Holy Land, trying to say that they're his people. Or, with people like one of these presidents said like the Bible was a national book, but nope, none of them obey it. Verse 7, seeing thou hatest instruction and castest my words behind thee, when thou sawest a thief, then thou contendest with him, and hast been partaker with adulterers. Thou givest thy mouth to evil, and thy tongue frameth deceit. Thou sittest and speakest against thy brother, thou slanderest thine own mother's son. All right? And that's what this man is known for, the accuser of the brethren. These things hast thou done, and I kept silence. Though thoughtest that I was altogether such an one as thyself, but I will reprove thee and set them in order before thine eyes. So, after accusing the Israelites, this man was like, oh, well, the Most High, he not doing anything to us, so he must be just like us. He must be on the same page with us. He must be okay with us doing these things. But no, he said he gonna reprove you. Okay, so the Israelites had to drink of the cup. These Edomites got to drink of the cup. They got to drink the dregs. They got to drink double the cup and get this punishment. And he said, I will set them in order before thine eyes. So the Israelites gonna rise up in the last days. You can go to Revelations 11, and when it's around like verse 8, okay, when they, stood up on their feet and the fear fell upon those nations. So that's what's happening, all right? He's setting us in order, okay? Giving us these words, these laws, statutes, and commandments for how we should move, all right? Now, it's easier said than done. It's easier said than done. Because we're human and we sin every day. I know I do. This is Isaiah 47:8. Therefore, hear now this. Thou that art given to pleasures, that dwellest carelessly, that sayest in thy heart, I am, and none else besides me. I shall now not sit as a widow, neither shall I know the loss of children. All right, so that's the pride of Esau. He think, oh, I did all of these things, and I'm never going to fall, okay? Like, I'm never going to be attacked. My people is never going to suffer. None of that. But guess what, Esau? It's coming. Verse 9 says, but these two things shall come to thee in a moment, in one day. Book of Revelation saying 1 hour. All right? The loss of children and widowhood, they shall come unto thee in their perfection, for the multitude of thy sorceries, and for the great abundance of thine enchantments. So for all the stuff that you've done, you have to pay for that. All right? Let's go to Revelation 18. We get that precept, 18:7. And it says, how much she hath glorified herself and lived deliciously. Okay, so she done enjoy the blessing. What was the blessing for the Edomites? They live by the sword. Okay, they get the dew of heaven and all of that stuff. So that's what they got. All right? But how did they get it? Through the sword, through deceit. All right? Through war and bloodshed and grape and pillage. How much she hath glorified herself and lived deliciously. So much torment and sorrow gave her. For she said in her heart, I sit a queen, I am no widow, and shall see no sorrow. So that's the pride of this man. Okay, Esau Edom. That's the pride of these people. You can ask these people, these Americans, these Amalekites, they literally believe that Trump could put tariffs on the whole world and have no repercussions on them. They really supported him to do that. They really think that they could go toe-to-toe and fight the whole world and win. Like, that's crazy. Okay? Verse 8, therefore her plagues come in one day, death and mourning and famine, and she shall be utterly burned with fire. For strong is Yahweh power who judgeth her. So they estimate Yahweh Bashim Yahushai. So in one day, she gonna be done away with. In one day. Okay, that's gonna be it. All right. Let me go down here and get verse 9 and 10. And it says, and the kings of the earth who had committed fornication and lived deliciously with her, so all these other heathens who are ruling in the earth, all right, shall bewail her and lament for her, because they made money off of these places, okay? When they shall see the smoke of her burning, standing afar off, for the fear of her torment, saying, Alas, alas, that great city Babylon, or that mighty city, for in 1 hour is thy judgment come. In 1 hour. Gonna make a speedy riddance, of them. All right? And the elect gonna be out there on that sea of glass watching. Y'all can see the storm clouds getting a little bit closer. Okay? So, let's go back to Isaiah. We're starting on verse 10 now. Let's go Isaiah 47 and 10. And it says, For thou hast trusted in thy wickedness. Thou hast said, None seeth me. Thy wisdom and thy knowledge, it hath perverted thee. And thou hast said in thy heart, I am, and none else besides me. Okay? So they trusted in their wickedness, their wicked works, their wicked enchantments, their witchcraft, all of these things that they do behind the scenes. Okay? They believed in them. They believed that they could fight against the Most High. They believed that they could get away with doing all of these things. Okay? Thy wisdom and thy knowledge, the Most High, that left hand wisdom, that left side knowledge, it done perverted them. Okay? Yeah, the scriptures say they're wiser than Daniel. But hey, they about to get got, even with all that wisdom that they got. All right? Let's see. It had perverted thee, and thou hast said in thy heart, I am, and none else besides me. Sound like they're trying to say that they're the Most High. All right? That's what they're trying to say. Because I know the Most High. He is the one that said that there's none else besides him. All right? So that makes me think of what? 2 Thessalonians. 2 Thessalonians chapter 2, verse 3. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day should not come, except there come a falling away first, and that man of sin be revealed, the son of perdition, which is Esau Edom, the so-called man from the Caucasus Mountains, who opposed it and exalted himself above all that is called power. So this man has elevated himself to being in the seat of the Most High, or that is worship, so that he as power sitteth in the temple of power, showing himself that he is power. So this man is saying, I'm God. That's what he's saying, all right? And that's why he painted over the pictures, covered the faces of the judges thereof, okay? To make the world believe that he is God, to make the world believe that he is the people of God. All of those things, all right? So that's why he thinks that he's not going to get judgment. But that's just his pride that has deceived him. So if we go down to verse 11, it says, Therefore shall evil come upon thee. Thou shalt not know from whence it riseth. Mischief shall fall upon thee. Thou shalt not be able to put it off. And desolation shall come upon thee suddenly, which thou shalt not know. Okay? So they are so caught up in their pride. They think, oh, I'm good. You know? The destruction, they're going to catch them slipping. All right? They're going to creep upon them unawares. All right? They're not going to know. In the fullness of his sufficiency. All right? Every hand of the wicked going to be upon him. I'm going to have to get that precept. All right? But let me read this again. Therefore shall evil come upon thee. Thou shalt not know from whence it arises. They're going to be like, what the fuck? Everything was good. It was kosher. We were about to sit down. We were about to fill our belly. And mischief shall fall upon thee. Thou shalt not be able to put it off. They could be like, no, maybe if we do this one more prayer, this one more experiment, we could do this, we could do that. Maybe we could lie, and no, you can't wiggle out of this. All right? All right? And Jake, your wicked ass can't save Esau either. Don't hand join a hand. The wicked shall not go unpunished. All right? That's for you simp ass Jakes out there who want to be up with Esau Edom. Hell no. All right? Thou shalt not be able to put it off, and desolation shall come upon thee suddenly, which thou shalt not know. All right? And so that's what we're waiting for to happen. So if we go to Obadiah chapter 1, let's go Obadiah 1, verse 2. And it says, Behold, I have made thee small among the heathen. Thou art greatly despised. Now you can see that happening in the world today, especially since these terrorists. It's been happening, but it's only increasing. Okay? The pride of thy heart had deceived thee, thou that dwellest in the clefts of the rock. whose habitation is high, that said in his heart, who shall bring me down to the ground? Because he puffed it up. He don't think he could fall. Remember, he think that his house could go on forever. Nope. Thou that exalted thyself as the eagle, and though thou set thy nest amongst the stars, then shall I bring thee down, said Yahweh. Okay? That's what Yahweh said. I see Satan falling from heaven like lightning. Okay, that's Esau Edom falling. That's not the spiritual demon Satan. All right? If these come to thee, if robbers by night, how art thou cut off? Would they not have stolen till they had enough? If the grape gatherers came to thee, would they not leave some grapes? All right? So, this man gonna be robbed blind. Everything gonna be taken from him. He's gonna be brought down. So you think about the grape gatherers. You think about like in ancient Israel where they left some for the poor to get. Ain't nothing gonna be left for Esau Edom. Okay, neither root nor branch. Gonna be completely done away with. All right. Verse 6. How are the things of Esau searched out? How are his hidden things sought up? Through Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. Okay? Through these secrets, these mysteries that he reveals to his servants and prophets. All the men of thy confederacy have brought thee to the border. Okay, they're tricking him. He don't see it. All right? All the men that were at peace with thee have deceived thee and prevailed against thee. They that eat thy bread have laid a wound under thee. And, there is none understanding in him. So he can't see it. He can't see. And everybody turned against him. All right? He don't see it. But that's what happened. All right? That's what that pride gets you. Now let's go to Job chapter 20. So it wasn't Job 20 earlier that I was talking about. Maybe it's Job 30. I don't know. But this is the precept. I don't want Job 20 and 22. In the fullness of his sufficiency, he shall be in straits. Every hand of the wicked shall come upon him. Okay, and that wicked goes into laborers. All right? So everybody going to be at this man's throat. All right? Verse 23. When he is about to fill his belly, so when he finally got his, New World Order, all of that stuff, set up, power shall cast the fury of his wrath upon him and shall rain it upon him while he is eating. So when he finally get it all together, okay, that's when the Most High is going to move and bring his judgment upon Esau Edom, all right? And it's going to be unsuspecting because he think, I finally accomplished, finally got my wicked scheme together, blah, blah, blah. No, man, you're not going to get to enjoy this. You're going down, all right? Let's go to Isaiah 47 once again and get verse 12. And it says, stand now in thine enchantments with the multitude of thy sorceries, wherefore thou hast labored from thy youth. If so be thou shalt be able to profit. If so, be thou mayest prevail. All right, so he said, hold on. No, stay over there with that bullshit you've been doing. Stay over there with that witchcraft, with them enchantments, or whatever, the stargazing and all of that nonsense you've been doing. See if that's going to save you from this rat that I'm going to send upon you. See if anything can work. See if you can wiggle your way out of it, okay? Because there ain't no way out for Esau Edom, all right? His judgment is already written, all right? So it's coming, all right? See if you can prevail, all right? This man literally think he could prevail against the Most High. So he gonna pull out all his little, trinkets and gadgets and whatever, call on all his spirits and all that bullshit, and ain't none of it gonna work for him, all right? Because he don't understand that all things come from the Most High, all right? The Most High created the good and he created the evil, all right? We could get that in Isaiah 45 and 7. Since I was talking about Isaiah 45, Isaiah 45 and 7, I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, Yahweh, do all of these things. So everything comes from Yahweh B'Shem Yahweh Shai. He made all of these things, okay? Now let's go to verse 13. It says, thou art wearied in the multitude of thy counsels. Let now the astrologers, the stargazers, the monthly prognosticators stand up and save thee from these things that shall come upon thee. Call on them. Call on your people who've been doing all this witchcraft. That makes me think about, this one WEF meeting where they had this shaman lady come out? That's the shit Esau be doing behind the scenes that y'all don't realize, all right? Let's see. Oh, and think about it. Think about like the serpent in the garden. That word serpent back in Genesis was going into practicing divination. So that same spirit, that's all these people have done since the beginning. All right. So they're just standing there a lot, doing it again. All right. Verse 14. Behold, they shall be as stubble. The fire shall burn them. They shall not deliver themselves from the power of the flame. There shall not be a coal to warm, nor a fire to sit before it. Right? So there's no escape for Esau Edom. His judgment is written. It don't matter how many, apologists or how many, so-called Christians or whatever, try to, say, oh, they could be saved and all of that. Or even some of you Israelites out there proclaiming that stuff. There's no hope for this man. It's already written. All right? So there ain't nothing you could do. So let's go to Malachi 4:1. It says, for behold, the day cometh that shall burn as the oven, and all the proud, yea, and all they that do wickedly shall be as stubble. And the day that cometh shall burn them up, saith Yahweh of hosts, that it shall leave them neither root nor branch. All right? So that means nothing gonna be left of them, okay? They ain't gonna have nobody left, all right? Or especially not in Babylon the Great, all right? So they're not gonna survive that, all right? And then if you go to Obadiah 1:18, that's the ultimate doing away of the Edomites, all right? Okay, so let me read that again in case y'all missed it. So it's final admonition. For behold, the day cometh that shall burn as an oven, and all the proud, yea, and all that do wickedly shall be stubble. And the day that cometh shall burn as an oven, saith Yahweh of hosts, and it shall leave them neither root nor branch. And that's when America is going to get hit by these nuclear missiles, these hypersonic missiles, okay, from all of these nations, all right? And guess what? This place is going to be completely wiped off the map, all right? Just going to be a desert after that. Nobody going to live here anymore. Let's go to Isaiah chapter 47 for our last precept. It's Isaiah 47:15, and it says, thus shall they be unto thee with whom thou hast labored, even thy merchants from thy youth. They shall wander every one to his quarter. None shall save thee. So nobody is going to stay here with you. Nobody's going to be able to save you. Okay, all these people, they're going to go back to their own nations. Okay, especially with all the stuff that, DJ Trump is pulling out in the world right now. These people ain't going to have no choice but to go back to their own nations. All right? And nobody going to be able to save you from the wrath of the Most High. So he got to get it. He has to drink of that cup. I should get that precept. Lamentations. Let's go to Revelations 18:50. The merchants of these things which were made rich by her shall stand afar off for the fear of her torment, weeping and wailing. So they're not going to be here. They're going to be standing afar off, from their own places, their own nations, looking at the destruction of America. And saying, alas, alas, that great city, which was clothed in fine linen and purple and scarlet and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls. Okay? That's Babylon the Great. They're going to be destroyed. Okay? That made these people so rich. Okay? For in 1 hour, so great riches is come to naught. And every shipmaster and all the company and ships and sailors, and as many as trade by sea, stood afar off. So all these nations, they're going to be watching the destruction of Babylon the Great. And they're going to see it. All right, let me see if I can find that precept in Lamentations, because they got to drink of the cup. Lamentations 4:21. Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, that dwellest in the land of Uz. The cup shall pass unto thee. Thou shalt be drunken, and shall make thyself naked. There we go with that word, naked, being exposed, okay? The punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, the daughter of Zion. He will no more carry thee away into captivity. He will visit thine iniquity, O daughter of Edom. He will discover thine sins. Okay, so that cup is going to be passed unto Esau Edom. And they're going to have to drink of it because Jake drank of it. So Esau Edom, he too is going to have to drink of that cup. So I hope this lesson was edifying. That was what Isaiah 47. Lament for Babylon would be the title that they have in the King James for that. So this place has to go down. So I hope this lesson was edifying. I'm going to close out and get out of here before the rain starts. So I want to give all praises, glory, and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rikakodash. And once again, double honors to the elders and apostles at Great Millstone for bringing out this truth. Shalom, Yasharallah.